What's up? My name is Cal, trail name Starburst.
And I'm Lila, or Sugar.
And this is part 3 of our safety updates for the conditions in the Sierras. We actually weren't going to make a part 3 because this would have been Mammoth to Sonora Pass. And leaving Mammoth, conditions were actually quite favorable. Do you want to talk a bit about?
Yeah, sure. The first couple days up through Tuolumne Meadows were gorgeous. We got into the Yosemite Valley that was pretty much thawed out. Saw a huge brown bear there. We saw a coyote. So things were very much looking like favorable and like spring was coming. And that was up through like Soda Springs or so, up until Benson Pass, at which point things changed for us when some weather came about.
So we checked the weather in Mammoth and looked like there was a possibility of snow, but nothing really to worry about until, as Lila was saying, we started to ascend Benson Pass. Unfortunately, things changed pretty quickly. The skies turned dark gray and it started snowing, and it did not stop snowing until we actually exited Yosemite at Sonora Pass. Unfortunately, it slowed us down a lot. 4 days of dumping snow deposited a lot of snow, lots of powder.
I'd say it was between 6 and 12 inches at various points, pretty much mostly above 8,000 feet, which the vast majority of that section is above 8,000 feet. So if you went all the way down, you might be able to find a drier camp spot. But yeah, definitely covered most of the territory, up to a foot deep in some places at highest elevations.
Yeah, so our main objective with making these videos for you guys is we knew that we were the first ones to pass through here because there were no footprints in front of us, at least with these conditions. So breaking the trail was really hard, and there were a lot of dangers that we observed and experienced that we want you to be informed of before you attempt this section.
So here are some very important safety tips. This is the first couple hours leaving out of Mammoth back on the PCT. There was actually less snow on the trail than we'd seen. We were able to follow the trail. A lot of it had melted. There was still lots of snow at higher elevations, but we're in shorts walking across ice fields. In the mornings, they were frozen enough you can just walk across them with no spikes, such as up to Donahue Pass, which we were climbing there. This is coming down into Yosemite Valley. As you can see, there's barely any snow at all. It was so melted, it was kind of marshy. There were some light stream crossings. We were worried about high water levels, but they actually turned out fine. And this is when things started to get dicey. Okay, this is our ascent of Benson Pass. As you can see, it started snowing pretty intensely here already. There was no snow, and now there's a ton of snow about halfway up Benson Pass. This is Benson Pass. It is absolute trash. Total whiteout, pretty much. So we did decide to continue hiking against our better judgment. This is the next day. The river crossings did become deeper, faster moving. There are also a lot of them north of Benson Pass. The snow got deeper. It continued to snow pretty much the entire time for the next 4 days. Once it started, it didn't stop much. We did not get any blue skies during those 4 days until the very last day, meaning that even if we saw the sun, there wasn't enough of it to melt anything. Due to the river crossings, our shoes were perpetually wet and then getting caked with snow. As you can see here, it's much deeper. That can make the slopes icy, and breaking trail is just exhausting under these conditions. It also made getting a good night's sleep really challenging. This was our last day before we got to Sonora Pass in the morning. Lots of stream crossings, like I said. Also the first day that we saw blue skies, as you can see here. There's just a lot of added safety considerations and extra gear and expertise that you need to keep yourself safe if you plan on winter hiking or winter backpacking. This is all to say we highly, highly discourage anyone who maybe this is your first hike or first winter experience. We discourage you from attempting this section or any section really where there's going to be added elements. As you can see, there's no trail. If I didn't say that already, we did not follow the trail for any percentage of the section between Benson Pass and Sonora Pass. It was unrecognizable under the recent dump of snow. This, if you can see, is our tracks across this mountain. You definitely need an ice axe. It can be slippery, okay? There we are again, just breaking the trail, probably not anywhere close to the actual trail, but do make sure that if you're wayfinding, you are trying to stay as true to your GPS as you can, just for safety purposes. Okay, what are we doing?
Road walking.
Why?
Because the Sonora Pass, the highway, is closed in Yosemite.
So how far do we have to go to get where?
10 miles to get to Bridgeport and to get some food.
And what time is it right now?
6:40.
Yay! So anyway, as you can see, we made it to safety alive, but this was definitely our most treacherous section so far. So please exercise the utmost caution. Trail conditions will improve as the snow continues to melt and as more hikers pass through that section and establish a more recognizable trail, establish footsteps for the places that are slippery. So please check the weather before you embark on any section. And if at any time you feel unsafe, do not be afraid to adjust your plans, turn around, go back to safety, figure out something else. It's really not worth the risk. I hope this helps inform you of the trail conditions and things to expect. And if you have any questions, of course, always feel free to reach out, and we're happy to clarify or offer whatever information we have. Isn't that right, Truman? Oh, mwah.